Okay, so yesterday we started looking at what was area. Remember I said just count the squares. Now, I really want to encourage you into breaking it into sections. So let's take a look at question number 3. Find the area of each. I'm literally going to count the squares. Now, they seem too many for me to start counting them all the way from 1 and on. I might get confused. I might lose count somewhere in there. And it will be really annoying if if I'm almost towards the end and I lose count. It is going to be really annoying. And I'm going to have to recount them. And I'll forget that. Okay. So break this into smaller sections. Okay. So let's see. First thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to break it into this small section here. And I will count how many squares are there. Like I said, I'm just counting how many squares I got. And I happen to count 14. Okay, not too bad. Let's see what else can I do here. Oh, cool. I see a rectangle, big rectangle here. Okay, now this one's gonna take me a little while, but it's not too hard. Now you might remember what's the area of a rectangle, right? That looks like a rectangle. And we talked about, you probably have heard formulas for area of a rectangle. I'm gonna discuss those later. If you know the area of a rectangle, what's the formula for the area of a rectangle, then you know that shortcut. Formulas are basically shortcuts. I'm counting my squares. As I'm talking, I'm counting my squares. And in my case, I happen to find 84. Okay, good. Said it was a lot of squares, but I counted 84 of them. And then let me break this into a little rectangle here. Now that one's easy. I'm gonna count 10 squares on that one. Okay. Now let me break this into a bigger rectangle here. Notice I'm breaking it into pieces. Ooh, okay. Now in there I count 48 squares. Now the reason why I'm breaking it into pieces, because look, right now I can take a break. Oh, now if I was counting, literally counting all the squares by one, oh, but I'll be tired already. But like, look, I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break. Okay, now I come back. Here at the bottom left, I see another rectangle there. And I'm gonna say that's 18. And then lastly, on this other section down here, I count 51 squares. So cool. I broke it into pieces. It's easier when you break this into pieces. And that's what I'm trying to encourage you this time. Break it into pieces. Now, I'm just going to grab my calculator. 14 plus 84 plus 10 plus 48 plus 18 plus 51. It happens to give me 225 squares. Good. Yeah, I expected this to be a little bit of a big number. Don't count all of them at once. Break it into pieces. Now let's take a look at number 4. Let me take a look at that rectangle there, right? It's a square. Squares are rectangles, so that's why I can easily count those, right? We can easily count how many squares we got there. So got 16. Okay, there's a triangle on the right, but it seems like some parts are broken. I'll deal with that in a minute. Instead, let me deal with the rectangle here at the bottom. Again, I want you to break this into pieces. And okay, that one has 15 squares. Good. Now on the triangle. Okay, cool. Let's see in the triangle. Whole pieces I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pieces that are complete. But then there's some parts that are broken. You guys see there's 2 parts that are broken. So I'm gonna say these 2 pieces make 1 triangle. And then these 2 other pieces, make a square. So I'm gonna say, let me add 2. Notice how I put pieces together to make another square. If you go to your kitchen, more than likely you have squares, and then some of them are not complete squares. They're like pieces of a square. So that's fine. In my case here, I'm putting 2 pieces to complete a square. So I had 6 squares that were complete and then 2 extra with the pieces. Now let me add all of them. So I'm going to go 16 plus 15 plus 6 plus 2. Let me emphasize a little on the 6 plus 2. 6 because I had 6 complete squares. And then the plus 2 because I combined pieces to come up with 2 more squares. Okay, so again, I went 16 plus 15 plus 6 plus 2. And I happened to get 39.